Hey, how's everybody doing? So, this is, I think, video number 4 and number 5 that I've done. And I've decided to make little reviews of some of the gear that I have. It's nothing that stands out as anything really special. It's just kind of stuff. During this time of COVID, not being able to play live, not really a live guy. I've played with a couple different bands, friends, things like that, but I'm not a musician. I'm a total hack. I've gotten into low wattage amplifiers. And in the past year, I've picked up about a half a dozen amplifiers less than 15 watts. And I have found that's all you need. Oh, sure. I mean, you can move a lot of air with a 50 or 100 or a 65 or anything like that, but 5, 10, 15 does a lot of good, especially when you're trapped in your basement like I am. So, back in spring, I found one of these, and I bought it just to flip it, because I had a friend who's a Nashville player and musician who really liked it, so I bought it, took it down to him, sold it to him. The week I had it, I kind of really fell in love with this little guy. So what we're going to do is talk about this little guy, what it is, and such. This is a two-tone Fender 600, but it's not an original 48 to 53 600. It is one of their reissues. It came out in 2006. It was a holiday Biggs box store, $159 amplifier, and started in 06, I think, through about 012. So they've been out of production for about less than a decade, but for a while. They've grown kind of a cult following. There are quite a few people that make modifications to these things, and this is one that has been modified. I picked this one up. I had to drive to the north side of Chicago to pick up this guy. Actually, no, this one, a guy I found it in Indiana, and he shipped it to me. It has been modified. He did not know what he had until I started tearing it apart. There's been a distortion switch or boost switch added to it. Somehow, before he got it, the previous owner shoehorned a 8-inch tone tubby hemp speaker, El Nico. I don't even know what El Nico is. Which one? El Nico speaker in here. So if you look in the back and see, it's in there a little crooked, and somebody shoehorned this 8-inch speaker in here. They also did the modification that almost everybody does, and that is get rid of the grill cloth and change the tubes. This is not an American-made Corona, California, or even a Mexican amp. This is a China amp. That's why it was like 159 bucks, because that's 159 bucks. So this one has been modified. They've changed the grill cloth. I actually, when I purchased it, it had a oxblood cloth in there, and I didn't like it. I had changed the one that I purchased for my friend to this wheat, and I liked it, and I did it again to this one. Everything else has been done by somebody else. Why am I telling you this? Because if you find one of these, or if you have one of these, yours is probably not going to sound like mine. They are very modifiable. Number one, change the tubes. The cheap Chinese tubes that are in there are garbage. Throw in some JJs. I have Sovtech in here, but that's what the guy put in there. They sound really good. This one has been modified. The tone stack has been slightly changed. And as I said, a boost switch has been added, and I'll show you the difference. And again, the 8-inch speaker, which is going to give you a richer, fuller sound. They are available Facebook Marketplace, Reverb, eBay. You can't find one in a store unless it's used, because they haven't built them in about 8 or 9 years. Buy one. Just simple, buy one. I am a crappy guitarist, okay? I've never taken a lesson. I am self-taught. I am a rhythm player. I am not a lead person. I don't have a specialty. I listen to a song on the radio and I jam along with it. I have a Spark, which is fantastic because it was almost made for me, in the fact that I can download a song that I like. It'll show me what song, what chords they are, and I can pretty much play along with it. I love that. That is the absolute basic type of musician I am. I've played rhythm, in my friend's band occasionally. Strangely enough, they never asked me back. Well, that explains a lot. So, I live in Wisconsin. It's getting into the winter months. I don't look it, but I'm a cyclist, a mountain biker. And we're getting into the off season, which means I've been eating a lot of carbs and not giving a shit and playing in my basement. It's what we do when we don't ride. No, I don't have a fat bike. So my hobby is I also build guitars. I build Blackguard style tellies. I've either modified or built everything that you see behind me. So what I'm going to do is basically talk a little bit about the amp. I have found that this amp has an absolute fantastic sweet spot. So I like it at, as I showed you, and I'll flip it around here. One of the modifications that were done is this little switch right there. That is not a factory switch. Besides the volume, the LED light, and the power switch, that is, and the low and high inputs, that is all you get on the back of this. But this one has a little switch added. It's a boost switch. Like I said, they changed the tone stack to give it more of a original Champ sound to it. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than the stock one. Buy the stock one. Easy modifications. Change it. When I fire it up, light comes on. Because the transformer is close to the rectifier, these things have an inherent hum. There is a way to extend the wires out a little bit and move it away, and that takes care of the hum. There's a lot of people that do that. Again, this has an 8-inch stuffed in here, which normally you have a 6-inch. So this is going to have a little bit richer sound to it. I'll grab this one. This is one of my guitars. This is a Vince Gill clone. I built this one to emulate Vince's 53. The neck was built by me, by Steve Parker at Park Lane Guitars in New Jersey. He is a master neck builder. He was with Music Craft for years. This has the Tato taper. This is actually a clone of a 1950 Esquire guitar. I believe it's serial number 0255. He was able to copy it electronically, and then he CNC'd and then hand carved the rest of this. This is just literally, you hold on to this, it's one of the best necks you'll ever feel. And yes, it is available. One piece ash body. The pickups are hand wound for me by a gentleman in Kansas. Odessa hand wound pickups in some small town in Kansas. Bakelite. Everything else is Fender. Well, the wiring is by Smokey B out of Oregon. And he builds some of the best pushback style vintage wiring available. Normally I have them set up with a tone bleed. This one is more stock. Does not have the dark circuit in it. It's more of a traditional later telly circuitry, but it looks like, what's that? Vince Gill's 53. Okay, so let me grab a pick here. I'm going to do some basic strumming, basic chords. This, I'm going to back off the tone a little bit. I'm going to do the neck pickup, bring up the tone just a bit. sounding amplifier. So right now it is set at about 3. Goes to 12 like the old amps do. I'm going to bring it up right to the middle. You can hear it's getting a little bit nasty. Nice sound, rich. The 8-inch speaker does help, but the 6-inch one that I had sounded pretty darn good. They added a distortion switch and a boost switch to this thing. Right now it is at about 6 of 12. Again, great. It feeds off of your attack. The harder you strum this thing, it breaks up. It's fantastic. It's a tube amp. Now we're going to flip the switch. So again, I'm not changing the volume. I'm just going to flip the switch. The hum picked up, obviously. At 6, it sounds, well, like a vintage champ that is right at the edge of just completely melting down. If you attack it lightly, it's not so bad. Yeah, oh yeah, she breaks up, but it's not so bad. It's livable. You go at it. By the way, he recorded that song on one of the original champs. Sounds great. I'm going to shut off the boost, and I'm going to dime the amp. So with the switch on at 5 or 6, it sounds like the amp is absolutely dimed. Now I'm going to flip the switch. A little too much for me. But you bring her down to about 4. And it's fantastic. So, if you don't own one, I highly recommend you pick one of these little Champion 600s. Okay, technically this one's a Champion 800, but, you know, because of the 8-inch speaker versus the 6, find one. They're getting hard to find. Reverb, Facebook Marketplace. If you find one on Marketplace, there's a good chance they don't know what they have. Scarf it up. If you can find one under 250 bucks, do it. Again, they've pretty much doubled in price since they've gone out of circulation. Because, to be honest, Fender doesn't make a 5-watt amp anymore, really. So it's kind of nice to be stuck in a basement, not have to play with headphones, and still get some fun sounds out of this thing. So, oh, and on the bridge, the attack is fantastic. This thing really... And the guitar is available. There's my little 15 or 16 minute review on the now defunct, find one if you can get one, Fender Champion 600. Hope you find one. I love mine. I'm not